you, Kitty, in the end. He's harsh, but he's honest.
He's the same hair.
Hump Day Wednesday, we're literally halfway through, aren't we? On you, I should say. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's kind of getting very real now. Starting to feel, Monday and Tuesday we were just kind of finding our feet here in the Palladium. And now it's kind of, I'm starting to feel a little bit anxious about Friday.
Starting to change your mind, Roman.
No. I booked the holiday.
No,
I'm
you haven't.
No,
you
right.
haven't. You're due to be somewhere Monday.
Yeah, back on Magic Breakfast, 6 to 10 Monday to Friday.
Harry, I'm still pissed off that you put me at the end.
I just think it's for the best, Keith, that's all.
We had to separate them.
I could have kept my hands to myself. You were the problem.
Looking back at that VT,
Excuse me?
I love looking back.
Looking back at what?
Looking back at how very, very young and naive and wet behind the ears you all were 26 years ago.
Yeah.
Does it feel like 26 years ago? How does it feel?
Well, it's like I was saying earlier on. It's bizarre when we're together. We have our own language, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big thing to do with Steel. Like Steel kind of had us all speaking a certain way.
What way would that be, Keith?
I have no idea, Rosalie.
So you all have nicknames that Steel gave you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was Kitty. Hi.
I'm Rosalie. Hi, everybody. What's your name? What's your business with?
You know what I'm saying?
What's your name? Come on. I know your daughter's here. It doesn't matter. You have to say it.
47, I'm not sick. Yeah. That's our Michaela. Michaela.
This is Michaela.
And Ben. Shanice.
And Stephen was, of course, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chose a good name for himself.
Yeah.
When you think back to the first audition that you ever did together, did you look at each other and think, did you think you had what it took to keep going for 26 years?
Absolutely not. If anybody told us when we were 18 that you'll still be doing this in 26 years' time, I went, fuck off. Seriously. Come on, I have to get real jobs before you. So no, we're unemployed from Saturday. If there's anybody in here tonight that might be able to give us any work. Not that kind of work.
Keith, you're going to be keeping yourself busy with Boys Life?
That's right. We've a new album coming out after Christmas.
She's the puppy!
And we've a tour in February, March. So I'm back touring now. I have to be honest. This is like Ronan just said. This is starting to get very daunting that we are actually coming to Friday.
Yeah.
And we're nearly over halfway there. And we've just been putting it in the back of our minds and cracking on and doing the shows and enjoying ourselves and, literally enjoying every single moment. It's just been a phenomenal week this week. It's been amazing. And Friday's getting close. And for me anyway, I've just been putting it in the back of my mind all the time because I know, it's going to be an emotional night on Friday. And I don't cry or anything like that. And I'm just afraid Shane might kick me or something on Friday and make me cry. Won't you, Shane? You rub something in the eyes or something, won't you, to make me cry?
What I've learned from being around you and knowing Ronan for a few years is just how much also over the course of this 26 years you've got the same team with you as well. So what you see is obviously the lovely lads, but it's everybody behind the scenes as well, and I can feel it ramping up with every show. There's a lot of chat. I can't believe it, and everybody's trying to hold it in. Yeah. When you go on tour, for example, will you use some of the same people, or is it like?
Absolutely, yeah, we are going to please God. And what I was going to say is the fact that I know that tour is coming.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I'm holding on to right now. I love what I do. Brian and I have a great time. It's very, very different than what I do with Boyzone. What I do with Boyzone is very, very special. It holds a very special part in my heart, and it will never be beaten by anything else I ever do. It's my passion, it's my love. We've gone through thick and thin together. We've had times when we've fallen out, we make up again and we move on. It's not easy when you're kind of thrown together and then you're kind of literally living every single day together, living in each other's pockets. But then you have, you know, when you get those nice phone calls, like you've just got #1 or your tour has sold out, and those phone calls are coming, it's good news for all of us. And we all went through those highs together.
Yes.
And then obviously, unfortunately, we went through some very low times together as well. So it's things like that bond you as people, and that's brotherhood, you know.
So talking about that, let's talk about Stephen now. And we can't talk about, we might have a night here because I know you don't do a show without talking about him. We can't have a conversation without talking about him. It's 10 years ago this year, I don't need to tell you that. Do you feel at the time that you were allowed to grieve properly, or was there very much a pressure because he was a public figure, you're public figures? Was there a lot of pressure to just get on with it?
I think, I mean, initially it was very numbing, you know, the whole fact that it happened. It really wasn't supposed to be part of our story. It wasn't supposed to be. And in the years of Boyzone, we developed a kind of protective bubble, I suppose, around the five of us. And, you know, the crazy world was outside that. But inside there was a strength amongst the five of us. And when we lost Stephen, we could only find strength with each other at that time, you know. And it was absolutely amazing whilst we were, I suppose, in shock and focused on the jobs that needed to be done at that time. I mean, the UK public, the Irish public, Stephen's local area, his neighbours and what have you, everybody got so involved and so supportive of us that we really didn't expect what happened. And it turned out to be almost the equivalent of a state funeral. And it wasn't until afterwards that we had a chance to kind of look back on it all that it was like, wow, everybody was so great to us, it's so gracious and helped us get through it.
I think interestingly enough, you know, although there's us four ways, because a lot of other people went through that, you know, like everybody here tonight and has been to every concert. Really, I think you guys have really helped us get through that. You know, every birthday that Theo has, every, obviously when it comes to his anniversary and stuff, you know, your Instagrams and everything, your DMs, all the pictures you put up, all the love you show, it helps us get through that too, you know, and we really do appreciate that. Thank you for that, you know. Down in St. Lawrence O'Toole's Church where the service was for Stephen's funeral. We were in talking to Margaret, Stephen's mother, and she was very concerned at the time of Stephen spending the night before the funeral in the church on his own, because he was afraid of the dark. And then, you know, the fans will know that Stephen always liked to have the lights on and the TV on. He didn't like being in the dark, so we decided to spend the night in the church with him. And it was a night of events. Maybe one day we'll tell that story, but it was a night of events, and last night, out of the blue, Daniel O'Donnell. Do you know Daniel O'Donnell? Daniel O'Donnell turned up to the show last night. He came backstage to stay low and stuff, and he's an Irish legend. You know, he's infamous. He's just one of those guys that just is nice all the time. You know, I was trying to slag him and put him in bad form last night. I couldn't do it. Tried my best, but we were like things that happened that night. We weren't prepared. You know, to sleep in the church, and we didn't know how that was going to be. And then there's a shop called Army Bargains in Dublin, Capel Street. They heard on the radio that we're going to be staying the night in the church, and they delivered down 4 camping mattresses and 4 sleeping bags and pillows for us, which was amazing. And then there was a pub from the IFSC just not too far from the church, and they sent down a big box of wine and beer, and you know, in case we have a drink.
Not that we'd be drinking in the Catholic council.
No, I can imagine it was for the altar. I got the priest to change the water to wine. But then, when we were eventually kind of getting ready to settle down and maybe try and get some sleep, because we obviously had a very big day the next day, and it's going to be tough. And obviously our families were very affected by the whole thing too, and we had to take care of them as well. I don't know whether we were sleeping or we were nodding off or whatever, but there was a Excuse me, hello, Ronan, it's Daniel. Daniel O'Donnell and Angela, his wife, they're in there, must have been about 1 o'clock in the morning. And they're touching us on the shoulder. Hello, Keith. Are you awake? It's Daniel. And we woke up to Daniel O'Donnell standing. We didn't know him very well. And he had fish and chips with him. I thought you lads make me hungry.
Where's it from?
Buddy Bear. But it was in last night. I just brought back those memories.
Yeah.
You know, we've never really spoken about that.
No.
I think it's taken 10 years to be able to even mention it. But it's great when naturally you can smile and celebrate instead of get upset. That's a good thing.
And I know that Stephen obviously was on this stage plenty of times.
Yeah.
So is it almost like full circle being here at the Palladium? It seems a fitting finish, really.
This was his last West End performance, was here in the Palladium, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
And he flew out the window with the Kit Kat.
I see myself up there one night.
Yeah.
He scared the life out of me as the child catcher.
So having gone from, as we heard before, doing gigs with the tables tied together with string, and here you are, living it up at the
You keep
Palladium.
saying that every night. I don't know who told you that story.
It was not that.
It
Is
was,
it not
it
true?
was dinner tables and there were masking tapes together.
Sellotape, yeah.
The strings broke.
Same as the stage here.
We called it the doorstep tour. We literally were all just standing in single file beside each other like that, in orange boiler suits. Remember?
We did a year. We did a year in a white transit van around Ireland doing nightclubs.
I love these stories.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to know the story about how many microphones there were?
Well, yeah, we should tell it really.
I love
because
this story.
It wasn't because no other reason that we couldn't afford anymore.
Such a good
There was only 2 live microphones out of the 5 of us, and the other 3 were dummies, like the rest of us. So but we used to have dance routines, and you'd do an L spin, and as you were spinning, you'd be handing them the live mic over to somebody else. Because you knew that they were doing the link between the next. And that went on. We had about, I don't know, we had like 60 songs in our first set, didn't we?
Yeah, but like, no, did you ever think 2 mics look like this, right? And the 2 mics were like cable mics with the cable cut off. So everybody knew they weren't fucking real. we were the only ones that thought we were getting away with it.
Oh, let me tell you, which was brilliant. Our very first show we did as a band was in a place called Tohers in Naas in Ireland. And it was a small show. We thought we were stars right there and then. We were doing our first gig, we were selling tickets. But to be honest, the only people in the audience were our family and friends.
Yeah.
That was it. Now, it started off the gig with so much dry ice smoke, basically.
No, the dry ice machine broke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's so much of it on stage. We couldn't actually see each other. Forget about seeing the audience, or them see us.
You didn't know who you were handing the microphone to.
So someone, you never know who get the microphone. You were just, all you did was hand.
I think my dad got handed the mic at one stage. But for 4 songs, you couldn't see us, and we only did 5.
Yeah.
And now it's a slick, well-oiled
Oh,
machine.
it is
Look
now,
at
I'm
you
not
now.
so sure. But we got to the end of the set, and we did a runner. We ran off stage, we climbed out a window.
No, our dressing room was the Jacks.
Yeah.
It was the toilet.
That's why we climbed out a window. We climbed out a window and we got into the cars and we legged it. We weren't running from anyone but our families. There was no plans.
Oh, we thought we were famous. It was great when our families knew our name for the first time.
And what was the moment, Shane? What was the moment when you thought, right, okay, so we've made it? Was it the Smash Hits tour? Being on top of the pops?
Yeah, I think so, you know.
Who here was on that Smash Hits tour?
Does anybody know when Smash Hits actually finished? What year it was? We had a debate in the dressing room earlier. 90 what?
92 we're hearing.
No, finished.
We hadn't even started in 92.
I just wondered.
It was
Not
2000.
But anyway, maybe. So I think we've been in Dublin for kind of big as a band for like a year and a half or so, and then we got the big break, and the big break was the Smash Hits tour, and we came over here to the UK, and we were kind of 3 bands on the road in a competition against each other. And if you won the competition on the road, you got to get on the TV show, the main events, and we did. We won it. You know, we there's whatever. tickets in the box. We had a winner chicken dinner, and we got the show. And that year we had a Christmas number 2. Looking for a reason. Do you know who kept off number 1?
He's 17!
Where are they now? Where are they?
Terry's my neighbour actually, so I don't really.
Are you still in touch with anyone from those days, from the Smash Hits tour? I know you had Abs in last night, it was your mate from 5.
Yeah, I was in last night. Me, Dane, Ben from Fat to Smalls, Leo, Streets Leo's in here tonight. Where you at, Leo? He said you better say hi to me.
He's not going to say shit. He doesn't want anybody to
You're
jump
going to wave for me tonight? I was like, no, I'm going to call you out, man. What are you talking about?
TikTok and Boston,
Have you got any favourite countries that you've visited? Over 40 countries you've toured. Any favourite ones?
we spent a lot of time in Asia. We had a lot of great stories and a lot of funny times.
There's people in tonight, right, from
In
you're
Asia.
Hong Kong?
Yeah.
Taipei, Taiwan,
Thailand, Hong Kong.
We met loads of people earlier today. They're from all over the world, and we've been blessed. I think we've been blessed,
Oh, man.
you know, to be able to
Amazing.
travel to those places and for those guys to travel here to see us.
One of the first times we went to Asia, we were only kids. I mean, I was 17 when we actually travelled there. I was 16 when I joined the band, 17 when we got a break. And I remember we went, Bangkok was the first place we arrived in, and we were all jet lagged. We were so jet lagged. And we were missing home, because we're proper mammy's boys, the 5 of us, So we all ended up in whose room? Was it your room? I think it was Nick's room. And we ended up writing this song called 5 Nights in Bangkok. And do you remember? 5 Nights? That was really cute.
Something like that.
Yeah, but it just got worse and worse. And then, well, I won't say drink got involved because I was only 17 and I wasn't drinking.
It was a bag of Fanta.
Yeah, it was a bag of Fanta.
Phil gets it.
Mike is being non-committal about me. So your daughter's in tonight.
Oh yes, one of my daughters, Sia.
And I know that throughout the week, a lot of your kids are turning up. Are they following in your footsteps? And what advice can you give them? What do you say?
Yeah, my daughter Sienna, she's really into singing. She's a very good singer. Practices all the time, and she's also doing drama for a long time. So I just want her to be happy at what she does in life.
Sure.
But the entertainment business is definitely very different today than it was when we started. So I think there's a lot more kind of pitfalls, but nonetheless, I'll be there to guide her.
You think it's harder now? You think it's?
I just think it's very different.
Yeah.
I think you're a lot more exposed than we were when we started out. So, like all fathers, I would just be there to guide and love and protect her.
Yeah. Certainly one of them has a great singing voice.
Yeah, I mean, look, but not just our kids, but anyone who wants to do this, it is the dream job. It really is. It's unbelievable. We've got to travel the world. The people, look at the people that we've met, the stories that we've been able to tell. It's amazing. Like I said earlier in the night, we've never worked a day in our lives. We have the best job in the world. That's thanks to these guys, and it's such an honour, but it's a responsibility doing what we do.
We're unemployed, sir.
We are unemployed. I'm semi-retired on Saturday. Yeah, just semi. Just semi. That's what I'm saying. I'm still working
For a week.
Yeah.
So we touched on Keith and what
You touched on what?
She's
unbelievable, honest to God.
You have a new album coming out.
Yes, I've got a new
Oh,
album.
no,
Yeah.
no,
New album coming out next year, a new single.
When exactly are you touring? Do I need to know about
Yeah,
this?
pretty much most of next year.
Is it first time that you went on?
Allegedly, yeah, Justin. It is.
Who did you went with?
I can't tell you just.
Ah, go on.
No, I can't tell you. No.
Come on, who is he?
Where's the roller coaster?
Who did you went with? Tell us.
So anyway, there it was. There it was.
Is it Elton John? It is.
Elton John.
Is it Elton John?
No, it's not.
He always liked you.
You're You're writing and producing,
Yes.
making more music.
Yes, sticking with music.
You behave, that's why you're here.
I'll be in the studio. I've just signed a whole new publishing deal, so I'll be in the studio writing and producing and developing new up-and-coming artists.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of other projects on the go as well that if they come to fruition, they'll be in the public eye.
Good. Shane, what about you?
Oh look, everybody knows me, knows I'm mad about cars and race cars. So I'll continue to build them, make TV shows about them, and crack on again. I have a couple of music projects, maybe love projects. Nothing too serious like these boys, you know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah, you can tell from reading pictures. You're really fucking serious.
As the week goes on, does the partying get harder? Not as in more difficult, but
No,
more,
it should,
more
it
full
should.
on.
But fucking went mad on Monday night.
Did you?
Honest to God.
We went big on
we
the
go
first
for the
one.
rest of the week, didn't we? So no, then.
No, mine starts tonight.
Yours starts tonight.
Yeah, Monday and Tuesday was as good as gold. But tonight, tomorrow and Friday, it's going to get messy. Who's joining me? There's an Irish pub around the corner.
Okay, is that the go?
Well, you invited us, so maybe.
Is that the go to play piano?
Your piano.
He knows my keys.
Is this really the last time that we will see the
please,
four of you
God.
on the stage together?
Oh, please.
Because I don't think anyone wants you to stop.
You know what?
5 more
We've been
years.
really blessed.
5 more years.
26 brilliant years. There's not a lot of bands that get to write the final chapter themselves. And this is what we're doing. We're going out on a high. 5 nights at the Palladium after an incredible tour since January. We've been around the world. We thought the end was Wembley on the 21st of Feb. And we've gone on through Asia and Australia, Asia twice, Australia, and now we're finishing off back in the UK. It's been unbelievable. And yeah, this is something we will never forget in our lifetime, thanks to these guys. So yeah, we're doing the right thing.
As much as it's been a great year, just to say, you know, obviously to point out that Stephen's favourite colour was red. And we're all kind of wearing a little bit of red for steel tonight.
Yeah.
But regardless of what we've done, and we've had a great time, there's no doubt. But the band as a dynamic has just never been the same since we lost Steel. We've tried and tried and tried, and then we realise we've been very fortunate and lucky to have the career that we've had. And like Ronan just said, we kind of want to go out with a celebration on a high and in control of it ourselves. And thank you for joining us in doing that this week.
You're giving everybody a terrific show. I'm extremely lucky to be here every night. I'm loving it. I know you guys are having a great time.
Ladies and gentlemen, massive thanks to Howard and Scott. Trying to keep the floor of us on track. It's not easy. Great job, Howard.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Let's do a song for